Phone conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, I seem to see myself. Join which video?
Okay. See you later. Hi, Dino.
Good morning. Did you add me as a thingy?
As a participant, but I don't remember how to add you as. Yes, it's in the list of participants. Dino, make a host. Yeah, and now I will start admitting the rest. Oh yeah.
Yay.
You're in funny or I'm funny?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hello. Are you used to Zoom already?
Hello. What?
Are you used to Zoom?
Yeah, I just got out of the other session, training session.
Same thing here.
That's great.
Hi all.
Maybe you're even more familiar with Zoom than I am. I'm expecting there is more and more people joining. Take a while to let all of them join. Okay. We'll wait 1-2 more minutes for people to join. And then we will start. It's taking 3 hours, a little shorter than that. So in case you need water or something like that, just bring it with yourself. This meeting is already being recorded. Just keep it in mind. Fix your hair, smile to the camera. Okay, more people are joining. We're expected to be around 40 participants. So far, we are not even 20, so we'll need to wait a bit longer. It's good to see that most of you were punctual. Yeah, could you please do this dancing while we are waiting for people? I really need to take a picture of all of you like this. Look lovely. Okay. 3 more people. Let's wait until we are 30 and then we start. If people are late, it's their fault. Are you familiar with how to use Zoom? Are you able to reply yes or no with the reactions in Zoom? Okay, a few of you are able to, the rest, I don't know if you're not able or you're not hearing me. Okay, since you're a lot of people, we will be using mostly the chat for communication between yourselves and from you to us. Whenever I'm speaking, Dino will take care of the chat, and whenever Dino's speaking, I will be taking care of the chat. My name is Paco Gordillo from Madrid. I joined BEST back in 2009. Since I joined, I was doing many different things. Among them, it was IT. And in IT, I think I'm one of the people in BEST that did most of the code in the last years. So I know quite a bit different parts of PA. Dino, could you introduce yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me? I'm Dino from Podgorica/Ljubljana. I joined Podgorica in 2013, did some stuff around local board, then I moved to Ljubljana in 2015, and I've been mostly mucking around IT stuff and tutor stuff. So yeah, back to you, Paco.
So in this session, since the profile of the participants is quite different, we will try to go through all the parts of PA. In some of them, we will spend more time since most of you were interested in learning more about them. Some others will be just a brief description so you get the basics of what it's all about. For starters, we will give it a try to Mentimeter, which is some tool for engaging participants. Let's see if I can find it. Is this page? What can you see now? Can anybody reply?
They can see your browser tab.
Yes, but is it defined in up to 3 words in relation with PA? Dino?
Yes, they can see that.
Okay, so you just need to go to this menti.com, use this code, and then you can start answering the questions. And all your answers will be displayed in the screen. You have 30 seconds to reply.
Should we like just write everything in one line, or we can use multiple times?
One line.
Okay.
I think a lot of people didn't manage to vote. So let's give you a few more seconds. So it's mostly to understand what are your feelings regarding PA. So we can help you adjusting them. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
We are now at menti.com. I guess you can see the screen. Okay.
Paco, we just had 3 new people joining. Can you just quickly explain once again
Yes.
why are we doing this Menti thing and how do they get to that Menti thing?
Thank you, Dino. So what we are doing now is measuring your feelings regarding PA. So trying to understand what is the relation with PA will help us to get it better, improve it through this training. Okay. So let's go to the next question. It says, write something you would love to see in PA. So now we are getting a bit dreamy. And maybe you are looking for something that could be cool to have in PA. Maybe it's already there and you don't know it yet. Yeah.
Перевыпускать достойное настроение.
Okay. What research results? Tutorials. Point system. Triggers. Updated task database tool, please. PowerPoint templates. Dark mode. A simple search system. Stories from alumni. Better visualization of data statistics. Best Tinder. Pictures of LVG's event and documentation about local events specific to some region. Sub with Best Tinder. Any comments? There are some mock-ups about it, but it was never finished. Pictures of LVGs, guides, calendar for activities, short guide, task projects. It's a post. More colors? What's that? Represent system. Okay, many of the things that you are looking for are already in PA. Some others may only be there if you add them yourself. So I hope with the explanations that we'll give you, you will feel more motivated to use PA and you will also be able to use it better. Okay, so now it's time for Dino to start explaining about PA.
Yes, let me just quickly share my screen. And we need this one, hopefully. Can you all see properly a private area screen with a little Yoda in the top left corner? Paco, can you confirm that they are seeing what I think they are seeing?
We can see your schedule, not the PA.
Ah, lovely. This thing is not good at selecting screens, I assume. I share the screen too. Mr. Computer, come on, follow your instructions. I duly apologize for the inconvenience of this, but computers tend to sometimes not like people. Okay, now you should be seeing a private area screen.
Yeah, it works.
I do.
Lovely. Okay, so first things first, you might notice that my private area looks slightly different from yours, in a sense that there are all these lovely boxes in the beginning of it. Normal PA would have this lovely video here with some instructions on how to use the previous PA. But we have these lovely boxes here that are hidden in these boxes panel that you can just drag and drop and have different things on your front PA page. In general, you will notice that PA has a few paths. One is this main area where all of our work tends to happen. And another is this menu on the left side, which has all these lovely thingies and subcategories of thingies that you might call main areas that PA is operating, or actually main clusters of knowledge about BEST that we have. And for the beginning, we're gonna go over things concerning our organization, as well as things concerning our personal profiles. So also we have this lovely universal search button, and here you can search, for instance, for a person. Let's say for Paco. We can search for a Paco, and we can get a Paco. We could also search for other things. For instance, I could search for a mailing list. Let's say a very cool one would be IT observers. It could finish. It will also automatically finish anything that's in our documents, in email groups, alternative names of email groups, wikis, or games. So if you know the name of the thing you want, but not where it is, chances are if you start typing it up here, it should take you there. Okay, the rest of the cool things you can see here, we have some links that are your personal bookmarks from inside PA. Feedback, which is feedback. Help page, which takes you to this lovely page with this lovely little man down here, as well as gives you more information about pretty much whole PA. So in case as you remember that there should be something about something in PA, but you can't remember where it is, if you go here, you might be able to find it, or at least find more information about why and how that tool is supposed to work. And then we have here a personal profile, which will show your name and your picture, as well as links to your profile, your LBG, your tasks, your reimbursement, which is when BEST gives you money back, and some other special features that you might have or might not have. But now let's go to the personal profile, just so we can see what's there. So we have your basic information. Not everything you see here is directly shown to everybody who sees your profile. That is because some things are more sensitive and actually only useful for event organizers. So in case you applied to some event, for instance, if you applied to a course, your passport information, your phone number, your address will be visible to that course's organizers and stuff like that. But also we have some other very cool things that are not required for you to fill in, but as you go through PA, through usage of PA, they might appear very useful, especially if you try to go international BEST, because whenever someone new joins international BEST or applies for anything international BEST, first thing people will do is check their PA profile. Mostly because of stuff like that in BEST internal. So right now we're gonna stalk our lovely Paco's PA profile. Let's see what Paco did. Here, first things first, you can see which events you actually met that person, or in your case, you can see which events I met Paco in person. Very useful thing if you know the guy from somewhere, but you're not sure where you saw him. This thing will tell you where you saw him. We have some information about Paco, where he lives. Then we can go to his best internal page, which will show us which LBG he joined, what year did he join, when did he become alumni, and what's his marital status right now. We can see what he did in the local board. We can see what he did in international best. He did quite a few things. Good job, good guy Paco. We can see all the lovely events he attended. So we can see he organized 13 courses. He participated in 2. He went to quite some internal events, quite some local events, and he attended almost 200 hours of training sessions. And then there are some other stuff like which mailing list he's part of. For instance, if you are receiving some mails that you are not sure where they're coming from, or that you want to just unsubscribe, if you would go to your own best internal page, you could find all the emails here, and you could just click here and then go and unsubscribe. And we have some other stuff that he basically filled up on his own, just because he can. We can go to his education. Let's see what Paco studied. Paco is an industrial engineer. Very impressive. Did he do anything extracurricular? He did some racing. Very nice. And now we can see where Paco worked, as well as see what sessions he as a tutor or trainer organized. You can see this is a page that's unique for trainers and tutors, but here you can see, like, if someone applied for a motivational weekend, for instance, you could see what this person did before, what he in general likes to do, and you can find out more about him or her as a trainer or tutor. And another very important page is all the friends Paco has. Here we can see who are his best friends, or as some friends of mine like to point out, it's not the quantity but the quality of friendship, and so these are his most friends, and he met quite some people. This is why you should go into international best. You meet a lot of people. But now let's go to some other parts of PA. Let's start with LBGs. LBGs, as you know, are all of our best groups, and especially if you don't like to follow very closely general assemblies, this page is very useful to check out when you want to check exactly how many LBGs we have right now, how many full member babies, suspended, and everything else, as well as if you want to see history of any particular LBG. So let's see, we want to see what happened to Novi Sad throughout its history, and we can just go to the history of the LBG, and we can see when did they join best, when did they become babies, when did they become full members, and stuff like that. Also, for any individual LBG, we can see some other stuff, like starting from very general information, like what's their address, where are they, how does their logo look like, what's the university, who's in the local board, as well as who is in the other boards of that LBG, so you can see all the previous boards. Then you can see how many members they have, how many alumni, how many guests, as well what are the main mailing lists, as well as recent events they just organized. So you can see last 3 courses, last 3 internal events, last 3 local events, and you have links for more. In theory, you should be able to see them on a map. And yes, you can see where the heck that particular city is. If you zoom out, it's there. Very nice. You can check their active members. Here we have active members of Ljubljana. How an LBG counts their active members is their own thing. So some LBGs might have way more members than are actually active. Same for the guests. Let's see who their guests are at the moment. We have 1, And also we can see what their teams are and who are the LBG admins. If you need to contact them for some reason, you could see it right there. And that's basically all you can see about the local LBG. In general, you should also be able to see a map of all LBGs up here. If you go to this upper part of the menu here, you can see all the addresses. You can see a chronological history of all BEST, as well as some stats about LBGs. So let's see just quickly some stats about LBGs. And it's just basic stuff about, is that LBG following all the official things that besties have to follow, like organizing courses, filling up their, organizing internal events, filling up their, updating their information about the LBG, like the local board profiles, as well as some more advanced statistics you can see here. But we won't go over those right now. We will go to the next part, which is regions. Right now, you should all be mostly aware of what LBGs are in your region, but at least as far as I can see from emails, we might have a regional change very soon, and it will be very useful. This page will become very useful at that point because you will be able to see which LBGs are in your region. Right now, the region name is not exactly visible, but that's a thing that is mostly due to the person who was updating the regions recently and messing up with names of regions. But in general, you can see which regions are where, and you can see a rather unhelpful map of all the regions. Why is it unhelpful? Because it does not tell you what region is what. Also, you can see the regional advisors. So here are their lovely faces and their lovely names. After regions, we come to departments. Departments, as you might know, are those international bodies that call all the knowledgeable people in BEST. In case you want to join some, or in case you're interested in more about what they do, or more about how they can help your particular LBG, you click on this contact us thingy, and you can contact them, or you can go back, and you should be able to click somewhere like here, and then you can see what they do. Probably there will be some picture of them, and you can see you have this how we can help you thingy, so you can see how this body can help you. So for instance, CRD can help you with some career support things. Some other bodies might have some other things they can help you with. Also, it's very useful page if you want to know which departments we have right now, or if you want to go over a more historical page. So for instance, here is all the previous committees we used to have a few years ago. Very cute stuff. Next page we have is board. Board page starts with a picture of the board. In case you didn't know how they look like, you can see here. And then it goes into slightly more information about different parts of the board. So you have the actual board, which is their faces, names, and contact here, the board's name. And then you have some other international bodies that are quite relevant, like department coordinators, international HR team, project coordinators, as well as this page also tell you which projects they are currently taking care of. Again, we can see regional advisors, ambassadors for BEST, finance officers, which are very relevant if you want to get any money from BEST through reimbursements or internal event support things, marketing officer, and also observer applications. This page will be updated by the board every time we give a new round of accepting applications. So here we have, for instance, this last summer's application from Kovicha, Gebrava, and Santi, some of which should be also in this online meeting. Next thing is international projects. So how you join international these days is you go to an international project and you start working there till you get experience and get to learn things, and then you proceed to other stuff. But basically, you would either read in an email what's currently open in projects, or right now nothing, or you would check these upcoming projects where, in theory, every new project in BEST should be announced. These pages look something like this. You have kind of project, and then you would here have an apply now button in case it was open. But right now we are just before a GA, which means that we are kind of the end of the best year cycle. So we won't actually have any new projects till after GA, which is why you can join any. But in general, for all the projects we had, are currently having, or will have, you can here find some basic information about how you can apply for it, who's the coordinator, which department is doing it, as well as some more information about how is that project going on right now, and similar stuff about projects that you can find. In general, depending on the department, sometimes they get in their KT, they get missed this step that they should announce their project before the application starts. But in general, if you check this page once every few weeks, you should be able to see some new project that just popped up that you might be interested in. Or alternatively, we just do what everybody else does and just read LBGZat emails, because that's where everybody will announce their project. Next thing is a position tracker. We mentioned all these projects, we mentioned all these international bodies of BEST, and all these kinds of things. And sometimes it's very hard to keep track of who was doing all those positions all those times. That's why we have this position tracker, which in general, for all the different kinds of bodies of BEST, tells you who held which position from which year. So for instance, if you go for department teams, we can find, let's say, who was in the Golden Apple team, who's in their mailing list. We can just go back real quick. And we can see who was actually part of that team and when were they part of that team. And this can basically show you all the people who were active in BEST for a large period of time. But it's slightly not that interesting, just because unless you actually need to find who were the last 10 areas of a region, it's not really a useful page. But that question was exactly what it was made to do. And last but probably least interesting is accounting. Everybody loves money. Everybody likes to know how BEST is doing right now. This page can tell you how BEST is doing right now, because this is our official budget, and you can also see the actual improvement to that budget. At the moment, it's slightly outdated tool because it's not actually following the most recent requirements by Belgium and international law concerning big NGOs. So I do believe right now our treasurer moved to another tool to show these things. And in general, on GAs, you can find the actual reports on the current financial state of BEST, or you can just ask the treasurer. But this page is supposed to show you different insights into the spending of international BEST and planned budgets of international BEST. So yeah, that's basically almost all that we have about organization. It represents a bunch of different ways you can split BEST into subsections. So like LBGs, which means stuff about the LBGs, our regions, international bodies of BEST, as well as some other insight into how BEST as an organization works as a whole. And now we're going to proceed to Paco, who will take us to a Kahoot quiz.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's here. Yeah. So I hope you liked what you are learning so far with Dino. Now we will check if who of you was more attentive during the first block of the session. So you need to go to kahoot.it and then type this 10, 15, 31 number, and you will be added here. So it's important for you, whatever name you choose, just keep using the same name, because we have 3 Kahoots, and if you don't use the same name, all the points will not be aggregated. So we will not see who is the general winner. So you, Paco, better stay with that name until the end. We are missing a few participants. Count it up to 31 people. Maybe Dino and I are 2 of those 31. Ready or not, there we go. So just in case you know, the faster you are, the more points you get. Viva Paco is winning. Just a small reminder, most of the questions, you can find the answers in PA. But you will need to browse PA to find the answer. Oh. Yeah, all of them were right. So not bad. But keep in mind, OPTs are not LPTs. Only two, we're fine. That's getting better. Okay, not a bad job for some of you. For some others, it was a bit lame. Well, to do it. Okay, so we get back to PA. Can you still see my PA? Anybody tell me?
We can see your face.
Ah, perfect. But I don't want you to see my face. I want you to see my PA. So here is my PA. So Dino was explaining you about the general structure and about organization. Now in this next block, we will go through the pages in events and tools. If after events I see you are too tired, we may have a break. If you are good to go, we will continue. Cool for you? So let's start. So maybe you know best because of you attended some event. So this first part of external events, in the home page, you get some summary of the main things you can find, such as Vivaldi guidelines, handbook, some statistics. You can even submit some news regarding your events, next deadlines to come, and in case you're organizing some event in the next seasons, it will show up in here. If you go to season overview, you will see all the deadlines and important links for that season with the season coordinator, and you get here the season promotional materials as soon as the season coordinator adds the link. If you go to accounts and applications, this is a very important part because from here you get access to all your students from the university, so you can validate accounts. Let me check here. Yeah. You can also set if you return the deposit. You can confirm the participants once they're selected. You can check selection results. You can see quite some things. Even you can see evaluations of your own students. Let's go to some past seasons so you can see some actual data. And from here, since I'm from Madrid, I would see all the students from Madrid that went to events. If the evaluation is anonymous, it will show up in here. If it's not, it will show up in here. You don't see all the evaluation, you only see the part which is relevant to your LBG. So how did they get to know about BEST? Okay, something is broken. Maybe they changed the evaluation type. Okay, so in case something like this is happening, I guess Dina already told you, you can use this feedback bar to send some fast feedback request, help desk request to help desk. So they eventually fix it. Let's continue. So since we are in the past, we will see some events. In summer 20, there is no event for Madrid, sadly. And since this event already happened, so there is quite some information about it. So you can see the profile of the event, both the one that goes in public website and the internal one. So you can see also how the information is supposed to look like once it's published. So they, what did I do? Here it is. If I ever stop sharing my screen, just let me know. So here you find all the information that you
Stop
were
sharing your screen.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dino. I will try again. Am I sharing my screen now? Yeah. Yes, I guess you're taking care of the chat as well, Dino. So all this information is very useful for potential applicants to know if they want to go to your event or not. So it's quite important that you give a good image in here and also create some nice website. So they find all the information required about the course. But since you have Vivaldi handbook, Vivaldi guidelines with a lot of information on how to do it, let's not do it ourselves. So if you're LBG admins, you happen to be course main organizers, we'll have to go through the ranking of participants, so listing who are the ones you want, who are the ones in the waiting list. Then it would go to some optimized list. There is some process called optimization, which is removing people from their not so preferred courses that they were not accepted. It's a bit too much to explain, but you can find all the information in Vivaldi handbook. So let's go to other parts that you can find here. Let's say you want to know which are all the courses that ever some LBG announced. You can find them here. Since I'm from Madrid, I will see Madrid by default, but it's just changing here the LBG and you see some other one. So now this would be the ones from Barcelona. You see all the lists, there are all links. They say how many of them, so easy peasy. If you want to know see some deadlines, you have them all. So this is deadlines for current sessions. So sessions that are upcoming are here. Future sessions, future seasons are the ones which start is far away. And the past ones are the ones that are completely over. Okay. Another interesting page is statistics. You have shitloads of statistics about applications, participants, selection, number of events. So let's say you can see which country is sending more applicants or receiving more applicants or where Italians want to go. Anything can be done through this. It's also consuming quite some resources from the database because it's taking data from a lot of applications. This is why it's going kind of slow. Let's go to some easier page. So this is very easy. Number of confirmations. This is the number of applications that have been confirmed. This is by LBG, which LBGs are confirming more or less. That's wonderful. Some LBG has 120% of percentage of confirmation. I don't know how this is even possible. I guess it's because there are some people that were extra accepted after some call to LBG set. Let's not get too much into this. So you can find lots of different statistics in here. So for instance, you could see what is the percentage of besties that are being accepted to courses. But it's once again a bit slow. Okay. And finally, in the news section, normally there are no news, but you can add news whenever you want. So you just need to be LBG admin to add them, and you could add here like we are looking for organizers or for extra participants, and people will be able to see it. And since there are not so many people using it, it will be quite highlighted. Because this will also go to the welcome page. Now we will go through the internal events, also a bit fast. So in the first page, you get some overview of all the events you could attend. Then it's the list of events that are looking for a host. So if you want your LBG to host some internal event, you can check in here. And once you enter in the page of some event, you will see more information. So in this case, since they are looking for LBGs to host it, you'll find the info for applying LBG. So they describe what are the needs, what can the LBG get out of hosting this event, who is participating in it, what are the possible dates. In case you go to some event that is already having a host, the information you see is quite different. So let's go to PM Valladolid. And here you see like folders with all the pre-materials of the event, description for the participants of the event so they know where to go, when to go, and so. You can get the list of applicants. Okay. No, I don't want to go to the applicant. It's loading, there it is. So from here, you can also check arrival and departure information as long as they fill it up in PA. You can also check like genders. So maybe you also want to see how many female participants or male participants are here. But it's easier if you do it through this page, demographics. So in here, you can check gender stats. So it could be how many participants were male and female in different events. And this one is only listing president meetings. So you can compare one with another. So in Valladolid, in this case, there were 104 male participants and 55 female participants. You could even see like age stats. So who is the oldest participant, the youngest one? I don't know if you know these people. I'm not sure if I'm able to pronounce this. Ozgezan Bayrak and Dima Tetriakov. And if you want to learn more about how old was this person in particular, just go to the profile. You can also see only the ones that you have already met in that event. So once you go to many events, you will get a longer list. Okay. What else should I tell you about this? Yes, that's important. So we have a page of participation stats. This is for some gamification for encouraging people to go to more and more internal events. So in the first list, you have the most event participation ever. So this is the historical list. And in the second part, you have the list only for this year. But let's say that you don't go to so many events, and you're still far from this 25th guy that is Antonio Wood. And you want to know where are you. And there is a secret trick that very few people know that I'm gonna teach if this is letting me do it. Okay. So you just need to add some extra stuff to the URL. You change the limit. And this way you are getting a longer list. So instead of just getting 25 people, first list goes up to 50, and the second list the same. And you could do this with any given number. So it's up to you to try it out. Next thing, there are not so many more secrets in these pages, but this is an events timeline that is meant to be useful when you're planning the year of your LBG, which events you can host. So maybe you know that you are more or less free in some dates, so you can check when this event was hosted in the past, when normally there are some sort of events or some other. Because in the end, the planning for next year will only be known once the new board is selected, they start planning the year and so, and then you will get the actual dates and plans. But before, you can just guess from what happened in the past. LBG ranking. So this is showing how many internal events each LBG hosted. Can you guess who's in the top? You can reply in the chat. 1, 2, 3. Sana is Ghent, already 49 events. I guess Talent is getting a bit angry. And you can see any LBG from here. If you hold, click on the bar, you see the list of the last events they hosted. But from the LBG pages, it's easier to read this information. Like, I think we can move already to local events. So in the main page, you see the local events that you are expected to apply. So there are events in which target university, they chose your university. It could be either because they chose every single university in BEST, or maybe because it's just hosted by your own LBG and they want you to go there. Then, of course, if you can apply, they will show up here. These are the ones that happened in the past, and since coronavirus, so there are no events to attend so far. You can also list all the events. So this is a list with almost 4,000 events ever announced by NLBG. Just have them one after the other, no search engine or whatsoever. Good job. If you want to see which events were organized by which LBG, you just go to events organized. Same trick as before, here is only Madrid. Let's say I want to check Tallinn. So I just write Tallinn and I check their events. And from here, why am I able to announce a new event? I'm not even LBG admin. I'm not PA admin or not bus admin. Okay, I'm seeing this because I'm a tutor, and tutors can also announce events. So this is useful so they can announce some training events so participants can attend, even if there is no LBG behind. But this is normally displayed for LBGs. So in here you would write all the information about the event, which LBGs are organizing it, because it could be many of them. Just remember NRRs, when they were happening, the dates of the event, some contact email, and there is also this section that is with information visible to companies. This is because the events you announce, you can make them visible from public website. So the partners of BEST can access that information and maybe approach you like, hey, I want to take part in this event. I see that you are asking for €2,000, here you have. It may happen, I'm not assuring anything. And you also set in here what are the targeted universities, how people are supposed to apply, either through PA, public pages, or just you click apply and you're in. Okay. I would say we are pretty much done with this events part. Do you have any questions so far? Or do you want to move on? So let's say thumbs up is move on. And if you have a question, just write it down in the chat. I don't see any thumbs up. I'm not sure if it's yes as a reaction. Okay. So, yes, we can also check if you're tired or not. You just need to remember how to do it. Yes, here you have. Let's see how you're doing. And depending on your answers, we will continue with tools, or we will give you some little break. I guess if some people didn't reply, it's either because it's Dino, me, or just because they are actually dead. Okay. So some people want to break, but I wouldn't say there are so many. So let's wait a bit. And also you can react, I think, with some coffee, which is I need a break. So whenever I see many coffees in here, we can go for a break. Is it cool for you? Or I would just ask again the same poll and we will see again. Cool for you? Okay, I say one yes, it's something. So I will try to go fast now. So the tools. So many of you were asking to learn more about HR tool, task manager, training. We will go through them, see how they work and how to use them. So for HR tool, this is mostly, okay, it started being used only internationally, and then they saw it was cool, so they decided to extend it to LBGs as well. So what you can find in here, I think it's better if we go full admin and we check it from this part. So this is not real PA. This is just a copy of PA that some things are not working so much, like these icons. But this means that we can play around, fuck up with data, and nothing will happen to real PA. So in here, I'm a master of PA. So I have all the power, not in the real PA. And we can check any LBG or team to see how they're doing. So let's assume we enter Madrid. So from here, you can see the list of members who is mentor of whom, the membership level of each of them. This is not that useful. So let's say, first of all, I will teach you how to edit some things. So HR tool is very useful for setting the skills of your members. So then you can have an overview of who knows how to do what or who is good at what. So you can add skills through these. And you just set the skills that are relevant for your LBG. Then, once you have them, you could edit any person, adding skills to that person. This table in here with green and red colors is no more than a tool that sets access rights for different tools in PA. So you can define, okay, only who can become mentors in here is only alumnus, full members, and HR team, and offline. As you can see, offline is not a normal membership status, but you can add your custom membership status as well. You can also add a fake membership status such as HR team if you want a reduced number of people having access to HR tool, no matter if they are full members, will members, or what. So in this case, HR tool access is only given to the HR team, which means that they are the ones editing things in HR tool, and they are also the only ones being able to see it. Then they give access to wiki to pretty much everyone but ex-members suck, to the archives, to the task manager, company database. So for instance, company database is for everyone but ex-members and offline. And you can change this anytime you want. You just click edit and you modify who has access to what. More things. You can see a summary of how many people are in each level. This is not so relevant. Cool things you can do. You can add comments about your members once the members are loaded. Okay. So this can be useful to track who was doing what. Like say back in the day, so they don't need to add themselves. So all the alumni, you can add it here, or what are the responsibilities that they had. If you want, you can use it in a different way, just writing down who was hooking up with whom, but maybe that's not the purpose of HR2. And this is helpful for older, newer generations to see what was going on with these people from older generations. You also have the mentors overview. Back in the day, I was HR of my LBG. And I was using this to see which of the available mentors were rather available or rather full of people. So in this case, I could see, oh, okay, so Alberto Cruz has no current trainees and only former trainees, so I can assign him someone. But then I read, okay, he's alumnus and he's not active, so no need for that. You can also sort them by active, so you only keep the active ones. And you see, okay, a lot of people, he cannot do it. Okay, he only has one, so he can take another one. Another cool thing is the genealogy tree. Yeah, it could be cuter. It could be cuter, but it still works. So you can go through all the genealogy of an LBG, saying who was mentor of whom, who is the father, godfather, godfather. And this can go on and on. Okay, it's cool because in Madrid, we added every single one from the very beginning of our HR. If your LBG didn't add anyone in HR2, it will not be as cool. One more thing I will show you is that you can also use the skill matrix to search people with a certain profile. So let's say, would you want people that are good at motivating and negotiation? Yes, it's shift. So, oh, he has knowledge and negotiation and motivation. So Alejandro Ruiz is our guy. And the rest, most probably, they are not even filled up. But if you keep this updated, you can use this easily. So members update is to either remove people or add new people. So every single member from the mailing list is added, so you don't need to update anything. And if you check the profile of one person in here, this is the things you can adjust. So who is the mentor? Edit member. Who is the mentor? Membership status, if the mentorship is active or not, if the person is active or not. Add some comments about availability. Add some private comments that they are not able to read. They are only visible from HR2. And then set in all the skills that they have. So the options are not interested, has interest, has knowledge, or experience. And in order to set that, back in the day when I was in marketing, what they were doing is sending us some Google form. We were filling up the Google form with our own evaluation of how are we doing with different things. And then each mentor was filling this up for us. So they could have the overview of every single member. Okay, I think it's good enough with HR2. For marketing materials, I'm not planning to break anything, so we can do it from RealPA. Okay, so this has three main sections. One is design elements for you to create your own designs. Then is already created things. So some other designers were doing them and it's being shared with everyone. So here you will find all best logos of different services, some design elements, even links to photos and server brand manual, which could be somewhere here as well. And in the last one, you find some handbooks pretty much. So on marketing strategy, visual identity of different services, some history of books. You even find a HR2 handbook just because. And even some video making and editing, which is cool. So of course, if you get in here, you see more details of what you found in here. Not much more than that. So you find templates, you find, let's see, let's use materials. Yeah, these are must-read documents that if you are to create any new material, you should go through this first. So you learn how to do it before doing it. Some of them are about best rules. Some others are guiding you on how to design. And last part that is not used since 2017, it's a tool for ordering materials. So back in the day when they were creating posters, printing the posters, and then delivering them to the LBGs, they were doing it through this. So they would do all the design, all the printing, and then shipping them to the LBGs. So the LBGs would order the materials from here, and then they would pay them in GMs. And you can see here which are the last orders that happened. So back in October 2017. I would check in with Yergana, and she doesn't know what happened to this either. So I guess it's as good as that. Let's go to the training part. So this training part has in the welcome page 3 boxes, highlighting the main things you can do in here. One is calls for training. So if you're an LBG, you may want to get some training for your LBG. You go here, create a new call. Oh, you don't know how to create a new call. You read the user manual. You maybe even check other calls so you get inspired. Then you have statistics. So you want to learn how much the trainers are doing. Maybe who are the most active ones. So you can approach them privately and get them to visit your LBG and deliver in there. So from here, you see who were the most active ones in the last 3 months. So Sandra Sarnit is the winner by far. Fabian, so maybe if some of them are somewhere nearby your LBG, they already know you. Let's go back to the home. And then training opportunities. So all training sessions that are happening in the next future will show up in here. So maybe your LBG is not organizing any training, but there's some LBG nearby is, and you can just crash it and join them. The sessions part is mostly focused for trainers. So in here, you will see all the sessions from the last one till the very first one, up to 12K sessions. They are only the ones registered. If we don't register the session, it doesn't go up in here, but there are quite some of them. It's not so useful, this part. List of topics. It's useful for you to understand what is what, because when you are sending a call for training, you need to fill up which topics you need. And maybe case study is not so clear what is it all about. So for each topic, you have a detailed description of what is the topic about. You could even check statistics of the different topics, like how many sessions are being delivered for each topic. So maybe some topics are rather weird, while some others are too common, like communication. And photography, there are only 6 sessions in total. Next, trainers, tutors. You can see a list of different filtering of tutors and trainers. So only active trainers and tutors, only trainers, only tutors. Coolest part would be show these tutors and trainers in the map. So maybe you are not aware that some trainer is near your LBG, and you just go, oh, there is someone in Kaunas. Who is this? Ah, it's Paco. Okay, I thought he was in Madrid. So this could be helpful. Or maybe nobody knows who is this person, and it's Vilius Venetis. He's a trainer and he's living there. Okay, at least according to PA, he's living there. We are still not tracking people. Then there is a page called Knowledge Center. This is for trainers and tutors. And this is for them to create some pieces of knowledge and share them with the rest of the people, so they can be reused in different training. So for communication, for instance, there is some persuasion. So you would go there and you will see all the blogs that were created. So you can reuse it in your sessions. Just click, oh, I want to use this blog, and then you create a handout out of it. It would be useful if more people were using it. but there are not so many created. Calls for training, that's useful for both training community and LBGs. So the LBGs will post their calls in here and we will check them and see if we can deliver in there and just apply. So for instance, there is some training for Milan. I check, oh, there are 3 applicants. Who is delivering in here? Chiesa, Maria, Sergio. Oh, I want to deliver with them. What are the topics they want to deliver? I see no topics. Because I'm in the event, dang it. I should go to the call itself. So it's training for Milan. Good. So from here, I can see who is supposed to receive, what are the topics, persuasion, presentation skills. If I'm a tutor, I cannot deliver any of those, so I would not apply. Next part, external courses, is mostly useful for trainers, is some opportunities outside of BEST, which were taken by different besties. So you learn a bit what other things you could have done. Because normally they are added once people already went to the event. So it's training for trainers. Here is the list of organizations we have in the database, not so useful for you. From here, you can search some particular session. So let's say I want to organize some PIKT that lasts more than 3 hours. So I can search my topic, private area, where are you here? I can set the length of the session more than 3 hours. And then I could search it. And I would see that there are plenty of them. And maybe some of them have some materials that I can use to reshape my session, or I can read the feedback from other sessions, but this is mostly for trainers, not for LBGs. You could also search trainers and tutors. So you could see who is living in a certain country. So let's say I want people living in Portugal. And this would list all the trainers living in Portugal. But there are too many. I want the ones that were active in the last 3 months. So with this, I get a shorter list and, oops, only one. Okay. So I'm sorry, Portuguese LBGs, you only have one train. So this can be helpful when you are looking for trainers for your event. It's a pity that you can only pick one country, but if you go through the different countries that are nearby, you can know who to approach. Okay. I would say regarding training, okay, you have more statistics, a lot of different statistics. So you can get some KPIs about the training system in BEST. And then the help part is explaining how is this training database thing. So it's a database for the sessions that we are delivering. So they are explaining who can do what, how to do it. So this is focused mostly for trainers that are inserting content in this database. Not so useful for LBGs. But also for the calls for training, you also get the user manual, which is here. So you can read in detail what to do, how to do it, what is what, in case it's not clear from the form. Next to, I've seen quite some people asking about Task Manager. I guess mostly because Task Manager sounds like a cool thing, and maybe it can be useful. I saw one international team that was using it. So let's find it. Are you there? I think it was doctors or something. Not here. Dang it. I don't know if I will be able to find it. Because in here, somehow is mixed up all the information from IPP and information from projects. Yeah, it's the same again. So some teams were using this. Let me check if I have it written here. I think I didn't. Maybe. I think it was doctors. Not sure if I will be able to find it. Okay, I will just do as I did before. Are you aware we have Google Analytics Invest for our PA and Pali website? IPA, okay, you can check. Projects on. Ah, here it is. Dino, can you send me the link? Otherwise, I will just take this bus project since it was not so horrible. No, it's horrible. Okay, I will go back to this once I get the right link to show all the power of this tool. And we'll continue with the next one. So company database, can you say yes, whoever was ever using company database? So I also know you're still alive. I see 2 years. You can write no if you never ever used it, so I also know that you are alive. I see some people asking for a break. We can check again if you're ready for a break or not. So please fill this poll again to check if we do the break now, or we wait a bit longer. Okay. So you already voted. Let's say quite some people need some break. So let's have some 5-minute break. You go, you get some water, you wash up your face, you pee, you come back, and see you here at 5:41 Central European time. Ciao, guys. Oh, okay, you couldn't see the results until I shared them. Sorry. So now you see them. Okay, see you in 5 minutes. Yeah, clean and break. 5 minutes. So I will use it to find. Get ready, guys. We're starting. Okay, can you say yes if you're ready to start?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't hear ya.
Yes.
Okay, that's better. So I found the project I wanted. I used Google Analytics for that. Just checked which was the project that had more visits in the last month. And here it is. So it's a nursing project. I guess everybody's able to access this page. So this is for you to show you what could be the power to use this thing. So you can see an overview of all the tasks that are to be done with the different doctors, different reports they need to write. You can also see some hierarchy if they create any. So in here, expand all subtasks. There are no subtasks whatsoever, but you could add subtasks under each of the tasks. So since it's not so complex, then you could also set the difficulty of the different tasks. In here, they didn't set any, so it's not so cool. You can also create new tasks from here. You could also export these tasks as comma-separated values. Wonderful. And let's say you go inside of one task. So there should be a description of the task, what they are supposed to do. You can add comments about the task. Like, I think this could be the way, or take this document. So people can communicate in it as if it was some forum. You can define what is the priority of the task, the difficulty of the task, how much time is expected to take. So this can be useful if used for an LBG. It's just not being used all that much. Why? Because we are aware that there are many other tools that could be more fitting for your LBG. Let's say you don't use PA at all, so why would you use PA for just one tool? Or you are used to use Asana, or you're used to use Todoist. You never know. But in the end, the cool part of this is that it's integrated in PA. So all the data that is here could be displayed also in the profile of people, and they can learn from it. Like you can see, okay, this person is doing a lot of things. The tasks that you're doing here are actually being displayed also in HR2. So you could see who is doing what, who is doing a lot of things. So maybe out of that, you say, okay, this person deserves to be promoted to next membership level. Can be useful for that. So we went through HR tool, marketing materials, training, task manager. We saw with the company database, career support. We didn't get there yet. So let's go back to company database. So from here, you can have your own list of companies that you were contacting. And it's useful to keep track of all the contacts that were done with that company. So this company, for instance, you can add all the information about the company, collaborations that you were doing with that company. So different events, different results, and what is this company expected to do with you. Also, there are some other tools for doing the same thing. PA doesn't need to be the best ever, but it's useful that you have this in PA and you don't need to create any tool because it's already existing. And if you want to improve this tool, you can do it because it's just code. You just go improve the code, and then the benefit is not just for your LBG, but for all the LBGs out there. Let's continue. You can also import the companies as long as you follow this template. So all the information that you were working on in some spreadsheet, you could put it in here. So even if it's just as a backup, it could be useful. Okay. And in the help section, you can see all the details on how to use it, who can access what. So I will not get through this, you can read it yourself. Career support, Have you ever received any career newsletter? So they are done through this. So your LBG can send career newsletters from their own partners. You just need to get in touch with CRD. I see some comments in the chat, but I don't see the chat. Can you read them, Dino?
I can, but our participants might like one size up.
Ah,
So
make it
maybe
bigger.
more.
Good enough?
Yes, unless
Okay.
someone complains.
Good. I'm not expecting you to read the whole thing, but in the end, you can get companies money that they are, let's say, interested in addressing students from your university. So in order to do this, you need to promote BEST to a lot of students. So they create the BEST accounts, they fill up their CV, and they sign up for receiving career newsletters or not. So in case they do, you will get thousands of students. In Madrid, there are more than 4,000. So this is something interesting for companies to say, okay, I want to contact students, but how many can you reach? 4,000 of them. Of course, not all of them are relevant. If they were, let's say, graduated 10 years ago, maybe they are not into getting some sort of internship, but they can also filter these kind of things when they are sending a career newsletter. And the more they filter, the better it will be, because it will be targeted to people that are interested in it. You can also check some statistics, like how many companies were added to Best Career Support, how many offers were done, how many students, this is the total number of students. And out of these 69,000, 4,000 are from Madrid. Last tool is contact database. This is the newest addition from the toolbox. So in here, this was done for external relations bodies of BEST. So it was mostly in the day Educo and ambassadors. But today is EduID and ambassadors, and also the president. So here you can see who are the contact persons for each organization. And these are not besties, they are people from their organization. So they don't have a BEST account normally. You also have an overview of other organizations BEST is cooperating with. Some of them are partner organizations, some other are not partner organizations, but still we help each other from time to time. So you can also get some information about it. So who is the contact for this organization? So maybe they have some local group near your university and you want to get in touch with them to organize something together, you can do it through that. In the facts section, it's just some wiki from external relations, and they're explaining how to do external relations and many other things you may want to learn about external relations if you are willing to work with some other NGO. Okay, so we are done with tools. If you don't have further questions, I think it's time to do some more exercise. It might bring some more energy to you. Let me find a Kahoot. Okay. So next Kahoot is about events and tools. Can you see Kahoot?
Yes.
Okay. So now you can start joining by using that code is 2817074. Please remember, use the same names as before so we can keep track of who did what. Nice, guys. Let's see. Now new people are on top. I will be doing the math. Wait. Yeah. Here it is. So in the background, I will be doing the math to see who will be the winner of this PA Kahoot edition. And now it's time again for Dino to explain you more about the last sections of PA. Dino, floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Time for the rest of PA. Let's attempt to share my screen. Can someone confirm that you can see the lovely front page with the baby Yoda? Lovely. Okay. If you didn't notice, Paco was so far telling us about stuff inside events, tools, events and tools. Lovely stuff like what kind of events you can apply to or find information about. Lovely things about the HR tool, the training part of PA, all the cool materials you can find and stuff like that. And now we're going to talk about knowledge. And avoiding the philosophical question of what is knowledge, we're going to go to Wiki, which is a major part of all the knowledge we have stored in private area. And here we have a lot of different wikis. You might not get access to all of them, but for sure you should be able to find one of your LBG if your LBG has one. If not, you can read the instructions to make one for LBG. And if you're wondering what is Wiki, well, Wiki is just about the same as Wikipedia, but internal for besties. And I will be using the one I'm most familiar with, which is the IT Wiki, just because of shameless self-promotion. Here we have some nice buttons and some nice spaces and some basic layout of almost every wiki. Why? Because people keep copy-pasting this particular template and using it on their pages. And there you can find a bunch of links to pages. Some links have some other links following them with some other links, and then it's all like actual things you might be interested in, how to do something in particular. And basically, chances are that whatever body of best you're interested in, they have a public wiki somewhere here. And inside of them, you have pretty much everything that's not secret from their work. Like, for instance, course stamping would be a secret thing that only members of Vivaldi are able to see. Everything else they do is going to be public and stuff like that. So if you're interested in anything of those, you can find it here. Also, some other bodies of best, like or regions have their own wikis. For instance, Mongolia has a wiki, Jamaica has a wiki, Nordics have a wiki, Iberia has a wiki, probably in Spanish. And basically just a bunch of links. If you go to any of the pages, let's go to a nice cute page. Like here we have one with quotes from events. That one is very cute. And you have like very cute and probably very sexual quotes. If you wanted to add the new one, let's say Paco said something. We're gonna use this lovely syntax it has. You just copy paste any other page you know, or you have a quick help here in case you don't know how to use these things. But let's just add very quick online PAKT star Paco yo soy el roboto de futuro. That's what Paco said. And let's see if this works. And here we have that. Slightly harder than using a Word, but still very usable. If you ever use any of the wikis, all of other wikis look the same. And it stores a lot of knowledge. Next part is documents. Here you have the official archives, the international teams you're part of archives, and in case your RPG has one, they should be here. My RPG at the moment doesn't have one. In case I want to do that, here I have a link on how to do that. Is Paco writing to me more? Here we have the official. Sorry, let's just go back a bit. So we have the official archives. They are the most, let's say, most important of our documents. So for instance, we have main archive with everything almost, and special documents, which has some of the most important things, such as our statutes, our international regulations, and our strategy documents, which are how these are big documents voted on GMs that say how best should direct its future. Department regulations, external event regulation, official documents such as best brands book, visual identity, the budget, internal events, like all these very major, very big, very major documents. They are all in this lovely one pager, so it's very easy to find them. Other big important archive is the main archive, and this is basically every internal event of BEST. It should have a folder here, and also here you can find all the important things. For instance, every GA has its folder here, and you can find, let's go from maybe, let me just find one from this millennium. Okay, the next one, it has its own folder, so like you have the minutes, or this one doesn't have minutes because it didn't happen yet. You have the pre-materials, so all the stuff related to every additional information document about the sessions, the procedures, which is all the rules on how GA should work, the proposals, which are the things you're gonna vote on a GA, reports that different bodies have to report towards the GA, as well as templates. And like you have this kind of official documents from every major body of BEST, and what they do is they're all here and they can all stay here, which is why we always use this document archive. Although they are like at the moment Google Drive is probably more more full of features than our archive. But thing is, here we have everything and it's constantly updated and it's constantly kept there. So that's why we actually still use an official archive. And also, for instance, international bodies like to use their particular archive just because that's what they've been doing for, in some cases, for the last 20 years or so. So for instance, you have in the design archive of IT department, you have the initial drafts of PA that were made in early 2000s, for instance. And also you have, for instance, a very cool one, which is a trainers and tutors archive, which is where we hold all the reports of our sessions, including probably this session that we will write after the session, and also the materials we made for the session. So for instance, any future trainer will be able to find here the Kahoots or the questions for the Kahoot that we made for you on this particular session. And they'll be able to use them and improve them and reuse them in the future. So that way we kind of keep the knowledge going around. And archives are very easy to work. They basically, let me just go to some particular folder with some files. Come on, Mr. Computer, work faster. Like you have some files. If you click on a file, you download the file. If you want to upload the file, you choose a file or you drag and drop. I don't like to drag and drop, so let's choose this no name file. We upload it. You can add some more details like who's the author, add some tags to it, and we have a file. If I want to delete the file or edit it, I click on the edit or delete button. He asks me if I'm sure, and no more file. Magic. Next part would be the LBG materials. And in secret, this is also a document archive. But in reality, this is a bunch of very cool links to very cool materials. So for instance, you don't know where to find the BKT. You go to LBG materials, and voila, you have the BKT materials 1, 2, and 3. And now you have everything you need to deliver a BKT to your LBG, or to learn more about BEST for yourself. You want to know where the Vivaldi handbook is? Here. You have a party in 5 hours and you have no idea what you want to do with your participants? We go to organizing events, social night. It's middle of the day, you have your participants, you don't know what you want to do with them. They're bored to death, social day. And that's like very cool stuff. Let's look at them. City rally stuff, songbooks, games, very cool stuff. You wanna learn more about PR? Here. You wanna learn more about HR, you want to learn more about FR, you wanna learn about IT. All the stuff that was basically made by experienced besties in those areas or trainers in those particular areas, trainers experienced in those particular areas, all made ready for you so you can easily find information and stuff for yourself. Next one is knowledge management. It's a page that has some information about knowledge management. It was a high goal, but it's a probably failed project or best. You can read more about it in IPP under KM project 2012 to 2015, if I remember correctly. But it just has very little here. But there is a lot of other KM stuff around whole PA that I will go briefly when I finish the basic rundown. I'll just tell you all the different cool stuff about that you can use for knowledge management about your FreeIPG that's currently on PA. But let's continue for now. So, competition tasks. You have your EBEC in a week and you have no idea what tasks you want to do. Here you have a bunch of tasks. Very simple, very direct. Same thing for games, and like some of these games are, let's see what categories we have. We have after party games, around the table games, beach games, BKT stuff, bus games, creative games, drinking games, farewell party, get to know games, indoor games, kissing, outdoor, all these bunch of categories. So if you're looking for a particular thing, particular games that might be useful for a part of a party or a whole party or a major break between lectures or something like that, chances are you're going to find them here. But just keep in mind that there is a lot of very badly written games there, because this page is editable by every bestie. And drunk besties have good games, but they're not good at communicating those games at times. Also a very cool page is statistics. So you want to know how many people are at the moment or in our systems. So for instance, how many people are on PA, Here's the number. How many of those people are actually active? Here's that number. We want to find what universities are there and how many people are in those universities that have PA accounts. We want to find what year of study are people in. Here we have those numbers. Then there are some other stuff related to CVs. You can find a lot of statistics about CVs back here. And then on the third tab, you have the statistics working group wiki, which has at the moment nothing. But they want to have their page here. They're not doing stuff, but that's their thing. And after that, we can move to communication. Teams or mailing lists, as people like to call them, are lists of emails that you can send emails to. We have a lot of those. A very important one for you might be your groups. So these are the groups like that I'm currently subscribed to. If I'm receiving any mails that I don't want to receive, so for instance, I don't want to know about BCC project, I can just unsubscribe in theory. I can't formally unsubscribe, but I will do it later then. And all those emails are here. If I'm interested in joining some particular mailing list, so let's say I want to join Mongolia. There is no Mongolia. Let's join Nordic. Yay, I joined Nordic. But that's enough emails from Nordic for me. Also, a very cool thing to note, and this is something you can also do for LBG if you want. There are mailing lists that allow you to, actually best allows you to have a mail archive of your emails. It's not turned on by default, but you can always turn it on for a particular mailing list. Let's go to the IT department's mailing list, if I can just find it real quick. IT members, I think, would be good enough. And that one doesn't have one. Okay, this one does. And you have this mail archive, which has all the emails ever sent to that particular list. And here we have our lovely 15,000 emails sent to IT administrators in the last whatever 20 years of that mailing list. And we have some nice statistics about. As you can see, we have a lot of emails per day. But there was a lot of emails sent over time to that mailing list. So yeah, it basically has lists of all the emails. If you know what you're looking for, it might be faster to just search here for, let's say, IT administrators than to go to that thing. But that thing is very useful if you want to just browse through some mail lists. They are separated in categories, so it's not that terribly difficult. So like if you're looking for stuff related to departments, there is a department tab here that you have all the departments under and all their mailing lists nicely sorted. So it's not that terrible to go through, but in general, the way you search this page is Control F and you search for, let's say, Balkanizer. Balkan. You just Control F the page and it should work. After that, we have another thing called VIP, Virtual International Plenary. It's a virtual version of a plenary on a General Assembly or a President's meeting. What does it do? It votes. It's the place where people vote and stuff. If you never used it before, that's probably because you're not your LBG's delegate. If you go to plenary members here, you can find who's the delegate of whichever LBG whichever LBG. How does it work? Well, in general, here at VIP Home, if you're a delegate, it will show you all the current proposals and stuff. You can click on it and then get more information about that thing, like the official document folder, more stuff. If you're a VIP delegate or a VIP observer is a mailing list you can just subscribe to. If you subscribe to it, you can see all the communication, all the official comments that delegates send to the mailing list. And then when the time comes for the voting session to open, this VIP Home thingy will just show you this VIP thingy will just show you that you can currently vote, and then your LBG's delegate will go there and click on all the yes, no's, maybes, and blanks that they want, and that will be it. Also, here you can see the results of all the previous sessions. Let's try to find some that happened before. So, for instance, let's find something very, very spicy. What's very spicy recently? I don't know, this one. Let's find this one. And here we have all the official votes for this particular session, which was partnership between Best and You STEM coalition. Very nice. Relevant for your local LBG board, might not be relevant for everybody else. News is a thing that people, mostly in PR department, use to put either news up here, so like this banner here about General Assembly, that takes you to this /GA page, which has General Assembly information, or to put it on our official website. Let me just go there real quick. So, for instance, here they can put a banner ad, some news ad, or they can put it in some particular page on the side, and they do it through here. These are official news of official things made by International Best. Sadly, they are not accessible by locals, by local LBGs. But this is how the news sections are added. And you can also here find all the previous news that we posted, either internally or externally. Then next one would be surveys. Before every RM, your LBG's board submits a big survey to International Best. And basically, these are very cute and very useful. They're called LBG reports. And actually here you can use this for your particular LBG to track your LBG's progress through time. So for instance, I want to know what LBG Ljubljana was like 10 years ago. Let's see that information. And you can either read the actual statistics, or it can actually make some of these more, or you can make some of these slightly more numeric options. It doesn't work really well for super old data because we didn't have those questions back then, so not all data here is filled in. But you can see what happened, and you can also kind of compare between different surveys to see how your LBG went through time. And same thing is for internal events, general meeting evaluations, organizer evaluations, so how organizers feedback the courses, stuff concerning international teams, and also you can find somewhere either here, either through this statistics surveys tool, or in external events you can find actual evaluations of your students in your courses, which might be very useful. And least but not last, help desk. Something is wrong with PA. you write a helpless request. You put one of the private area tags here. And of course, you pick high priority because it's the most urgent thing ever, right? But also, helpdesk is not only PA admins. It's not only PA people who are there. You have stuff about a lot of other areas of BEST. So like you have a PR related question. You're not sure if your poster or your t-shirt follows the visual identity of BEST. You don't know how to contact a company. You have a question concerning organizing a local event on education. All those things can be asked in helpdesk because there are people from all areas of BEST. It's like if you would just see solvers, you can see their specialties here. So there is very little people who are purely IT knowledge. Like we can find that kind of people like me, which I only have the IT side of it and nothing else, but you have a lot of people with a lot of other areas of knowledge that are there to answer your question. And now, just to slightly wrap up this last two parts, I will just briefly mention all the things you can use for your knowledge management in your LBG from these last few areas. So, on one side, if you put all your events on PA, they're gonna stay on PA forever. You'll be able to find who are the participants to those events. You'll be able to see who applied to which events, and you'll be able to cross-match that with their profile. So if you go to some LBG member's profile, you can see all the events he attended in your local LBG. HR tool helps you track members, membership levels, and mentors. If you have a wiki, you can put important information in a wiki so the members can find it, or this can be a place where you can put your, I don't know, event reports or stuff like that. Wikis are very, very, very usable for reporting because it's very easy to add a new page to another page. Documents is a place where you can put important documents so they don't get lost. Unlike shared Google Drives, where everybody can delete everything at any point, if it stays on PA, it's very likely going to stay there forever. You can keep all the competition tasks in the competition tasks that we have here. And if you have any core games, you can put them in games. It's very logical. Also, for instance, you can use mailing lists to automatically have archives of your mailing lists, so that you have mail saved somewhere forever. So it's very easy to find a particular mail thread because it has mail archives, has a very, very advanced search feature. So you can find any kind of email very easily, and you can just link them to the particular email. Let me now just very quickly address the question of Kari. So stable, it's surprisingly stable, and unless it's last 10 minutes of a seasonal course application deadline, or first 5 minutes of open applications for Tigger quarantine sessions, it just works. We have quite some people who are very good in system administration, and we are very good at having very many instances of PA working all the time. So even if some of them crash, some others are always there to pick up work. Safe. It's above average safe when it comes to actual data security. There is a lot of stuff that besties might be able to do on PA, even though they might not be supposed to be able to do that. Mostly because we don't try to over secure internal side of PA, but it's pretty much impossible to do anything if you are not actually a user of PA. And we tend to be relatively quick to detect any account hijacking and stop it very quickly. And also it's very hard to do any permanent damage to pages of PA. It crashes because it has too many users. And sadly, we don't have a budget to increase our server capacity 10 times to account for these few minutes of extreme usage. But in general, it tends to crash when there is more than 500 people trying to access a single page in a wiki at any given time. And I don't mean like 500 people in a minute, I mean 500 people in 1 second. Like when stuff like that happens, it tends to crash. But then the thing is, it only crashes for you in particular because there is another instance that just redirected new traffic to it. So like it's only you who tried to open that at that moment it got the crash. Everybody else got a fresh instance of PA that tried to access PA right after that moment. So even in these crashes, they are very localized. It's very hard to have a pandemic crash of the whole PA. Like last time I remember it happening was 3 years ago. But it tends to be slow in some pages, like for instance, statistics and surveys are super slow because they are not meant to be very efficient because they are meant to access a super large amount of data. Because they are meant to be useful, not fast at doing what they're doing. But okay, now basically we are at the part where we can ask your questions, and after that we're gonna move to a Kahoot. But because this particular Zoom account that we're using right now, which is a Tigger official account, is kind of limited, I will kindly ask you to move to the link that Paco sent you on the chat here or in your email. He sent it in your email. So please, we're gonna close this call. Just move there because we have to free up this account for the trainers who are preparing the next session during this quarantine time. So just please go to that link, and we're gonna continue with your last Kahoot, and we're gonna find who's the best of you.